I've been very involved in the open badges movement at the beginning. Actually, as a matter of fact, the very first workshop to build a prototype of open badges was here in Barcelona. It was opposite the Macba. There's an old building there, and there's a Mozilla festival. And I ran a little working group with a bunch of people, computer scientists, designers, and we put together a first version of what open badges could look like. And the idea was that if you made the credential digital, then you could break it into much smaller parts. And then those parts could be issued by many more institutions, right? So it's not just the university diploma that has all this detail inside of it. It could be all those different things. You do an after-school program where you learn to cook, or you go to a data science class in the makerspace, or maybe you go to a different university and you take one course there. But those things, if you make them digital and comparable, they would enable a space where people can have much richer, more diverse stories of their lives, essentially, of their professional lives. And then those could be woven together into something that gets you a job or gets you a degree. And there's no reason that we have these very monolithic, very strict and not very fluid, only those. I think university diplomas are fine. I'm not trying to get rid of them, but I think they're very limited. And so open badges was the first step in this, and it's still going. It's now an IMS standard, so it's definitely worth looking into and understanding how it works. But then in the last few years, I've gotten involved into a separate effort called block certs, which is essentially open badges on the Bitcoin blockchain. Because the piece that was missing in open badges, it's very difficult to verify that someone hasn't changed the content of the badge, that it was issued by the institution the badge says it was issued by, and that it was issued to the person who presents it. It's very easy to fake. I mean, the thing is, it's very easy to fake with a paper diploma as well. It's actually easier to fake, but somehow, because when you make it digital, everyone is worried about security all of a sudden. It feels less safe, and so it was good to kind of think this further. And that's kind of an interesting space that I'm still exploring, because if you anchor those credentials on a public ledger like the blockchain, then you don't need the issuing institution anymore to play such an important role. You can essentially, because the idea is you give the credentials to the people who earned them, and then they should be able to control them. But the reality today is they still need to go back to an institution to have them verified. And that's not going to be necessary in the future. So once you have that piece, and you have this kind of, you can break them into lots of little pieces, you could imagine much more flexible, maybe university and industry together give a credential degree. So I think that space is going to move quite a bit over the next few years.